you doing?
Looking at this new podcaster on my iPhone. He looks pretty good.
Give me that.
No skin, no fun.
So let's just see what this is all about, huh? Another Power Ranger podcast. Let's see. It's always about the Power Rangers. Never about the villains.
Heroes, we're shifting into that new Gear 5 Luffy Mango Passion Fruit from G Fuel. It's easy to make, and the goodie box comes with so many great things. You definitely want to go get this 20% off. Use that promo code FleeboyJetson. Don't forget to use the code FleeboyJetson for 20% off. Heroes, what's good with everybody, man? Happy Halloween. I appreciate each and everybody for tuning in today. And today is our Halloween special, sponsored by G Fuel Fear Fest. And man, this is going to be a tough one doing this helmet. But I wanted to give a shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're watching for the first time. We're going to be doing a lot of giveaways, and we're going to be talking about nothing but Power Rangers. We have some breaking news involving Super Sentai, you know, maybe rumors, maybe not. We also got Ninja Kids to talk about, the new comic book of Power Rangers Halloween special. We got two special guests, Lord Zedd TV and Andros, the in-space Red Ranger Christopher Khayman Lee. So make sure y'all tune in for that. But before we get started, I want to give a huge shout out to G Fuel once again for sponsoring the podcast. Make sure you use promo code FleeboyJetson for 20% off. Now, I want to give a shout out to my co-host. Shinosuke is back with us, man. Shinosuke, what's going on with you, my brother? And happy Halloween.
I'm sorry, Flea. Shinosuke won't be joining us tonight. Instead, you have me, Lord Zedd, Master of Thrill.
And also, I want to give a huge shout out to, y'all know him, man. If you don't recognize the face, then you probably new here. But my old co-host who's come back to talk Power Rangers with us, man. And the winner of the Megazord giveaway, Benjamin Walker from the Blacktastic Podcast. What's good with you, Ben?
What's good, man? Hey, listen, I'm just thankful to be here, man, and happy to just sit here and talk Power Rangers and Super Sentai and comic books. Let's get into it.
We definitely, also, I want to give a big shout out to everybody in the chat. Lord Zedd, BK Numbers, what's good? We got the Black Dragon, what's good? King Spade is in the building. Love of God, what's good with you, man? And I want to say happy Halloween to everybody in the chat. Appreciate y'all for coming through, man. We're going to be having the Mount Rushmore of Evil. We'll be talking what villains had the biggest impact, what villain you would like to see in the Power Rangers reboot, and so much more. I'm going to try to make it through this episode with this helmet on. G Fuel, thank you once again. Now let's get to it. Breaking news, Shinosuke, what do we have?
Okay, well, let me bring it to you. Can you hear me? All right. I'm going to power down for this. So, as you may have already heard, there is a rumor going around that Super Sentai is coming to an end. Right now, TV Shai or Asha, basically, there's some type of rumor that they may actually be, not necessarily ending the entire franchise, but maybe rebranding it. And so, I know that's caused a lot of speculation. Of course, the Legacy of Nerd has actually covered it. There's some other content creators that actually talked about it. It's all rumors and speculation for right now, but, people are kind of thinking, like, is this like a possible way for, like, Toei to kind of get Super Sentai over here under a new name, like, as a way of kind of getting out of that, like, contract with Hasbro, so that they could actually bring more Sentai to the States. So, what y'all think about that?
Hold on, because they saying they can't hear y'all, right? So we had this problem a little earlier, and they're saying that they can't hear y'all. So give me 1 second. I don't know why they can't hear y'all. Try to talk again.
Can you hear me?
I don't know. They're saying they can't hear y'all. Could y'all hear me?
Can they hear?
They should be able to hear y'all now. Talk.
Can you hear me?
Can they hear? Can y'all hear them now? Let me know if y'all can hear them now.
Can you hear me? Testing. 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right,
Can
they
you hear
can
me?
hear us now. Where Lotus at, man? We gotta get Lotus in here too, man. Stealthily. All right, so go ahead. Tell us one more time what was the breaking news.
Okay, confirming. You can hear me before I go over?
Yeah, I think they can hear you now. They saying it's better.
Okay. All right. So, of course, the breaking news today is that there is a rumor that Super Sentai is coming to an end after this like 49th installment with their 50th anniversary. TV Asahi or whatever is basically the network that is carrying it. It's rumored that they're going to like maybe end it after the current like goes User and then rebrand to maybe a new name. There's speculation that may actually be a way for them to kind of break out of the little contract that kind of prevents a lot of the Super Sentais from being released here in the States. They're thinking that it might actually rebrand into something else. Kind of how, there's speculation that like they might be trying to do something similar to what they're doing with Kamen Rider right now, where, we're simulcasting it here to the state audience. But again, it's all rumors. Nothing's been confirmed. None of the network in Japan hasn't like confirmed anything. There's no end date announced outside of the current season right now. So that's all we really got. Anybody's thoughts on that?
This is kind of a tough pill to swallow, right? Because for one, you got one side of the fandom, right, who really doesn't know too much about Super Sentai, right? They know that Power Rangers kind of comes from Japan, or they just don't know exactly what. Like they have probably never even seen the shows, and then you have the hardcore fans who watch the Super Sentai, who know some of the lore, all types of stuff, right? So my thing is, where does that fall? You know what I'm saying? Do they introduce that to this audience? Are they trying to do that with Kamen Rider? Because Kamen Rider is getting a brand new audience. I'm seeing Kamen Rider sometimes for the first time because the stuff that they got showing every Saturday, I think it comes on.
Saturday. Yeah. Yep. Saturday at 8.
So now I'm starting to get caught up with a series that, and I would love to watch the new stuff that they got going on for the 50th anniversary. But for the life of me, I can't find it. And I know in order to watch it, you have to watch it illegally or, pirate it from a site. So I think rebranding and maybe being able to market that kind of nostalgic feel that we got from Power Rangers and have it, maybe even dubbed. You never know. They could start doing dub because dub is becoming huge. So dubbing it and shipping it to the Western side of things, I think could be good for the market and the brand. And, of course, Power Rangers can always do their own thing with the reboot. But Benjamin, what you think?
Yeah, so when I first seen this news and when Legacy of the shout out to Legacy of Nerd, the one who broke it and let everybody know what was going on, I was devastated. When I first read the caption, I was devastated. I was like, oh my goodness, Super Sentai is ending, because me as a fan of Power Rangers, I just started getting into watching the Sentai. And for me, I'm in that list of fans of new coming fans just watching, getting into the Sentai. And so when I first heard this news, I was devastated. Like, oh no, are they gonna, take it off of all the, platforms like Tubi and, things like that where you can actually go watch these shows. But actually, I kind of agree. I'm gonna agree with you, Flea. I actually kind of like that idea of maybe rebranding, maybe going through another platform like how Kamen Rider Zedd is doing with simulcasting on YouTube, so people can have more access. I'm a fan of Kamen Rider. Kamen Rider Yuki, Kamen Rider Geeks, and now Zedd. So So I love that type of stuff, and for people to have more access to this to these shows is a really good thing and can further get more fans. And I also, another rumor that I also heard too, was the reasoning of why, is I also seen that it wasn't profitable. The show wasn't making enough money.
Yeah, I saw that too. It did mention that, from all the merchandise, the movie specials, I wasn't really like meeting the cost of production. And I've heard that, in recent years, they've kind of had to scale back a little bit, especially as it relates to those like crossovers and things like that. I would be curious about whether or not that's the case. I mean, obviously the it's looked pretty good in high definition for years. I'm also kind of wondering like if they're doing that as a way of like continuing or having the ability to release more of these over to the States. Because, we have those Shout Factory, like these box sets or whatever. And, it stops after probably, I can't remember the last one that's out. But essentially, I think that there's some type of contractual like holdup that's preventing like Shout Factory from giving us more recent series. So it'd be cool if they can rebrand and get out of whatever kind of contractual obligations that is preventing them from being able to kind of have that released over to the States. And that could hopefully expand the audience and maybe their profit margin.
I think both of y'all got great pointers. I'm just, with the Power Rangers reboot, right? Some people feel like we're saying goodbye to a love story that, that we all fell in love with years ago. The explosions behind them, just certain things people feel like with the reboot, they're going to go to a different direction. It's going to be a whole different style of what we're so used to and we've gotten for 30 plus years, right? So now I think this is a way to keep that around. And like Daniel said, right? With rebranding and being able to keep it around also implies of what Andrew was saying when he was like, they need to diversify and you can have multiple different things. So you still got the nostalgic feeling of old school Power Rangers with this, right? Being introduced to us. And Japan, and like I said, dubbing is becoming one of the biggest things in the world. We got our second anime film that just hit Chainsaw Man, and it's doing numbers. So, that
great dub in that movie.
Yeah, that culture is becoming big, and so is dubbing. So I think it's a win-win overall. I don't think it's anything to hit the panic button. But going into our next topic, I do feel like Ninja Kids, it's like this on that button right now. Shinosuke, take us into that on the latest news on Ninja Kids.
I mean, really, the main thing we know right now is that the project is on hold. I think that the father behind the series, what's his name, Shane Myler, he confirmed that. I watched Daniel's coverage on it too at the Legacy of Nerd. Shout out to him because he is breaking these stories. He couldn't give us all. It sounds like he has a little insider knowledge. Like there was some type of like release that kind of. There's some speculation that Hasbro's not happy with the project because of the blowback with the AI, and that they may be putting it on hold. I've also heard that Hasbro doesn't want it to like interfere with their upcoming projects, which honestly I don't know if that would be true because I'm like, this has been talked about and hyped up for like months. Why? It's not like this didn't come out of nowhere. Hasbro knew about it. Obviously Playmates is kind of partially funding it. So I don't think that would have been the case. I think that they would have used this to kind of promote, Power Rangers and everything with the toy line. But really, there's not much we really know outside of the fact that it's on hold. We don't know for sure if it's canceled or not. I even heard somebody say, well, they delayed it so that they can go back and kind of fix the AI or whatever and fix some of the special effects. There's been several of the, actors or participants in the Ninja Kids product that's actually, spoken out. The main thing that people kind of want to take from that is that, obviously there's a lot of heart and soul that was put into it by the actual human, participants, the actors, the stunt work, so suit makers. You don't want to completely dismiss the project. I would love for them to go back and kind of fix those little, technical issues. And honestly, it'd be a situation that if they, I would think that they probably wouldn't even have got as much blowback as they did if the AI didn't look bad. If it wasn't the little, Lord Zedd without the brain, transformation sequence or something like that. If it wasn't so painfully obvious, then I think that people probably would have been happy with it. They may not have even known. So, that's really what we got right now. We just have to kind of sit back and wait. I hope that it is something that can eventually come out in its entirety. I know they put a lot of work into that. lot of funding. I was like, if they don't get to come out, like I hope they get a refund.
I'm not gonna lie,
Speak to the
like
manager.
I want to piggyback off that, right? Because I do feel like, don't get me wrong, everybody right now is feeling some type of way about the usage of AI. It's become a thing where you're frowned upon if if you're a creator and you're using it in a way that Ninja Kids has used it, right? Because there's people out there that lost their jobs behind that. People out, well, didn't lose their jobs, but could have had a job behind it. Like, a special effects team or whatever the case may be. And like you said, I honestly think if it wasn't so obvious and so bad, people wouldn't have a problem with it. But the fact that it's already getting a lot of attention, AI usage, and all of this other stuff. And you got to keep in mind, the reboot is right around the corner. Hasbro doesn't want any negative thing marketed around this brand while it's in the process of reestablishing these core, because I'm pretty sure the reboot is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Zach, Billy, Trini,
sure.
Kimberly,
Yeah.
Jason. And that's why they're so hell-bent on like, yo, you're using the characters that we have coming to this reboot anyway, so we don't want our stuff associated with something everybody hates, because if they hate y'all, they're going to hate this. And I think that's what they're trying to fix. And I always go back to the Sonic situation. You seen how Sonic looked when the trailer first came out, and the fans spoke up. They didn't want a beady-eyed, scary-looking Sonic. They wanted a video game accurate version of Sonic the Hedgehog. And we got that, and the movies and the fans were blown away by it. They was happy with it. The Sonic movies have been thriving. We're getting Sonic 4 soon. It's supposed to be a lot darker. Even Sonic is getting darker. Power Rangers, come on. And Sonic don't have no violence. He don't have no martial arts, karate, and all that. So, even Sonic is taking a little darker tone and things like that. But I do feel like Ninja Kids, the work that the actual kids put in shouldn't be overlooked. They're really excited about the project. Yeah. They've been excited about this. They're kids themselves, and to be in the spotlight and getting this much blowback. And I'm hearing mixed things too. I'm hearing it wasn't supposed to be released. It was supposed to be this, and it was supposed to be like, I don't know. But to me, I'm not even gonna lie to you, man. I think like it hurt the Ninja Kids right now. I don't see it hurting them in the future if they fix the problem now. Benjamin, what you think?
So first, I just want to say that with everything that's going on in the world right now, that Power Rangers is on everybody's mind and tips of their tongue right now is great. I just want to go ahead and say that right now. But I think that to be honest, man, I think this just shows the sometimes mismanagement of Hasbro at times, to where they have these actors who I believe would do a great job. They seem like they love what they're doing. They love the show. They love to be a part of it. They probably grew up wanting to be Power Rangers, wanting to be these characters. And I feel like that the people that's behind the scenes and production, things like that, I feel like they're real passionate. And I don't want them to cancel it, because I feel like those people did really hard work and it'll really crush them and their dream. But as far as the backlash with the AI, it needed to be fixed. That was just unacceptable. And I believe they were a bit embarrassed by it. As far as the fan reception of it. But I believe that I don't think it's going to really hurt it. Like you said, Flea, about the whole Sonic thing. I don't think that didn't hurt Sonic. It made Sonic better. They made 3 movies off of it, almost $1 billion off the last movie. So I feel as if they take the fans' criticism at heart and not know that it's not backlash. It's just it's tough love criticism, because we love Power Rangers. And I think that moving forward, I believe that believe that it will get better moving forward.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I was going to say this real quick. Part of me thinks about it like this. Again, everything's very up in the air. It's very speculative right now. But let's say it was Hasbro that pulled the plug on this and made them put it on hold. Okay, I would say to them, put your money where your mouth is. So if it's about a quality issue about the thing, then give them the money. Because again, we already know that they did this on what, like 20% of the budget of one like episode of Power Rangers. So then if it truly is a matter of them taking, executive control and putting a cease and desist or whatever in place, give the fans something to tide them over till your show comes out, put the budget behind it, give them the money to actually fix the effects, and let us be able to see this project that these people put that, their heart and soul and creativity in, and Toku J for making those beautiful suits. Like, we gotta, let's see it. Like, that's just too much work put into something for it to go to waste like that.
Yeah, it really is. And I did feel kind of bad when you read his apology to his fans, because a lot of people probably felt like he was a part of this project, heavily influenced about it, because you've seen the Toko J suits and you like, oh wow, like everybody was hyped. That's what got everybody hyped about the new Ninja Kids Power Rangers product. Toku J suits were involved, and those are really popular suits within the fandom. So when you have a situation like that, and you have everybody hyped up off the product, and then you pull out a trailer and it has so much AI usage in it where it no longer, come on, you got Lord Zedd Morphin. It doesn't really even look like him. So I do feel like it was a little bit of letdown, and I do feel the pain overall. But I want to give a big shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Thank y'all. We're over here on the Red app. Shout out. We're doing a G Fuel giveaway soon too. So I'll announce that. Big shout out to everybody in here. I just wanted y'all to know that we are live with episode 4 right now. So let me lock in and I'll catch y'all, man. I'll see y'all on the stream. All right, my fault. But yeah, I do feel like it's disappointing and heartbreaking for them kids, man. It really is, because them kids put a lot of work into that. But that's Ninja Kids. We'll get more information about that as soon as we get further updates. We'll keep y'all up to it. So anything in the future that comes out, we'll make sure that you know about it as soon as we hear about it. Now, let's get on to the comic book that was released last Wednesday for the Halloween special.
Down for this.
And I'm so excited to talk about this. Like, well, not too much of the Halloween special, because my boy Shinosuke went, and not only did he get the Halloween special, but he caught up on Power Rangers Prime completely. He went out and got all the issues, and my God. So, if you're not reading Power Rangers Prime by Melissa Flores, make sure you lock in, go get that. But yes, let's talk the Power Rangers Halloween special that they had. I'll go first, right? They had multiple stories, I think. It led up to this final issue. I was a little disappointed, right? And this is why I say that. I was a little disappointed, but I understand. It's because I'm so used to what I'm reading right now with Power Rangers Prime that when I read something like the Halloween special, it kind of threw me off, because it was like, okay, this is target for a different audience, but I could have totally seen this as an episode. I just didn't like the Minions and the Monster of the Week with Trini and the whole, I did like the cameo we got from Skull and Bulk, though. I don't know if y'all seen that. Were they supposed to be Sailor Moon type characters?
I think so, something like that.
Or
No,
like,
but hold on now. Like, let's break it. Can we break it down story by story?
Yeah, go ahead. Let's break it down story by story.
So, okay, like the Halloween special is kind of like a little mini anthology. And so there were, 4 stories. There's Putty for Your Thoughts, Terror Toad's Trick or Treat Takeover, Pumpkin to Sing About, and then Candy Cornered, or whatever.
Candy Corner.
Yeah.
That was my least favorite.
That was I was gonna say that too. But there's one part of that comic that just made me like, I love that. Like that still.
That's Puppet Rapper, right? That from Mighty Morphin, right? Is that who that is?
The Pumpkin to Sing About is the one with the pumpkin.
Pumpkin Rapper. I think it was Pumpkin Rapper or something like that. Yeah.
So the first one is basically a story where Kimberly, like Rita Repulsa takes over Kimberly's body and basically puts Kimberly's brain in a putty, and then she's like playing like she is, Kimberly. Kimberly is kind of like trying to come over. She tried to morph into herself, like I should say morph, but she tried to like form herself into like her old body so that she could warn everybody. But then, like Rita and Kimberly's body kind of already thwarted that, and Kimberly got her butt beat, so she was sad. The funniest thing about the comic though, honestly, was like Rita playing Kimberly, making like all the comments because she just kind of ragged on how the Power Rangers are always doing charity events or whatever else. So like I guess they were preparing for like a tea party or something. She's like, oh well, I gave him my all for these, like I did put a nice dress together for the toothless teens, and they're like, no, it's for in need teens or something. And then she's like, oh, the home. So it just made, when I read that, it made me like laugh out loud because I was thinking about all the different ways that she could like make up all these different puns, like I guess we got to do a charity event for the Raggedy Ann adolescents. We got to do something for the pitiful poor pupils or like the homeless. She just was. It was just funny to me. I just enjoyed it.
I thought some of the stories was good, but it just took me away because I thought the way the cover looked, right? Excuse me, I'm sorry about that, y'all. I don't know why my camera did that, but the way the way the cover looked, I thought. Especially the art style threw me off too, right? I felt like the art style for some of it was like really bad. I'm not even gonna lie. It was.
Well, this is like the monster for the Kimberly one. This is like Kimberly or Rita as Kimberly. And honestly, they had it changed depending on the
monster looks pretty dope.
I know, like this is terrifying. It was
Flea. That monster looks pretty dope. Flea.
The critter crumpet. Like, look how scary this is.
No, that one's cool. That story and the other one. There's two stories I like. That's one right there, and there's another one. The one that I felt like just threw me off was the Trini one. It was, and then it was like towards the end. So it's like, all right, you get all these good stories, and then you're about to end the book, and you get candy cornered or something like that. And I'm not even gonna lie. And it's Trini. Why do they keep shitting on Trini? They give Kimberly all the good stories, and Trini gets stuck with candy corn monster.
I'm sorry, but this face is iconic. You got to see this. Like the frame, the
Oh yeah, the little disgusting look. Like she's like, yeah.
Like, look how she looks. Look at Trini,
like, look
bro.
at
Come
that.
on, look at the artwork. She looks like a Beavis and Butthead character, bro. It looks like something out of Beavis and Butthead, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
The whole story was stupid though, because it was like, it's a candy corn. She, like, Rita enchanted the candy corn, and then the Power Rangers ate the candy corn, and Trini's the only one that didn't eat it. And then the candy corn made the Power Rangers
candy or
grow corn. Like, it's candy corn. Candy corn is not corn. So they started like doing popcorn things. It was like they were vomiting popcorn, and they grew popcorn, like corn kennel hands.
It sounded like they were trying to do like a Goofy one in the end. Like they were trying to be like Goofy maybe in the end to lighten up or something. Maybe.
Yeah, it kind of threw me off, but it's still a good read. I'm not saying the whole book is trash. It's definitely something fun for the holidays. I'm glad they did it because they're constantly catering to the fans, even on holidays. And I think that's pretty dope that we was able to go to the comic book store and see that we even have a Power Rangers Halloween special. So I'm thankful for that. If you haven't got it, go get it, because you never know which one of these things might end up being a collectible or not. So go support these stories, man, because regardless whether we love them or hate them, we're getting them as a fandom. And the only way we're going to keep getting them is if you support it. Now, we do want to get into our segment, Villains Eve. Happy Halloween to everybody in the chat. So before we do, I want to do our giveaway, our G Fuel giveaway. I want to give a huge shout out to this man. He's been supporting, he's been putting on video after video, working as hard as I do on this podcast, maybe even harder, Pauls. Big shout out to Lord Zedd TV in the chat. The promotions, the reposting, the stuff that he's been doing, the late nights, putting on the costumes, sitting there filming, getting into these suits, man. Big shout out to Lord Zedd TV, man. You will be our Fear Fest giveaway winner. And also, big shout out to my guy Benjamin, man. He is the giveaway winner of the Megazord. And as soon as I get paid, I'm on my way to the post office. I'll be giving away that and a couple of signed autographs of Jason Font. I already have everybody's information, but Sage's giveaway winner. I forgot the gentleman's name. I think it starts with a P. I have to figure out who that gentleman is. I'll probably call Sage. Last time I talked to him, he was boarding the plane to go to Atlanta for some type of con. But I do have to get that information. But I got everybody else's information. So this weekend, maybe beginning of the month, I'll go and send all that stuff out. So stay tuned for all that. Now, I heard y'all on the TikTok earlier, some of the questions. I forgot to add on because I wanted to surprise the host. So I'm going to start off with one of those questions, right, y'all? What villain in the Power Ranger universe, and this goes for everybody in the chat, spam your questions, but make sure they good. Think about it before you put it, because I'm going to get on y'all ass if you say some dumb shit, all right? What villain do y'all feel like had the best drip in the franchise? Shout out to my guy. Was that Dre that told me, or League? It was somebody, man. But what villain had the best drip in the franchise? And for the sake of argument, throughout this whole podcast, we're going to stick to the villains within the TV show. So no Ivan Ooze, none of my guy right here. You know what I'm saying? Because I would have easily put him in the Mount Rushmore. He's the big face. He's the only villain that destroyed tons of multiverses. But, so we're going to start with Shinosuke. What villain you think had the best drip in Power Rangers?
Oh, shoot. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I got put on the spot on that. You know what? Some that stand out to me, honestly. Shoot. You know what? I really liked. I like Evil Ollie, of course, from Cosmic Fury, because I like the little kind of. Yeah, that's a good. It's a Ranger suit, but it's still drip. Yeah. The other one, I'm gonna probably go with Void Knight. Like Void Knight, he got the armor, he got the shield, he got all the matching, the purple, whatever else. He look clean. Like I wear that. Obviously, I like it in red, but purple looks good. Yeah. So I'm gonna say those two.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. So we doing Evil Rangers too? So I could say like Trent or somebody. Because I'm thinking of like, I'm not even going to lie.
He was a villain for a while. He was a villain for a while.
Yeah. I'm going to say Void Knight, though, because I don't want to like use a Ranger. I'm going to say Void Knight.
All right. So if we're talking Rangers, right, I'm going to go Trent. If we're not talking Rangers, because I think Trent got one of the best helmets within the entire franchise. I love his helmet. But if we're going monsters, man, oh, man, I'm going to have to, bro. This is a tough one right here, boy. I didn't even put no mind into it. I did take your question, but I didn't put no thought into this. Because I was thinking I could do the Rangers, and I was going to go with one of the Psycho Rangers, and then I thought about Trent, but since we, was shading off the Rangers, I will go. What's old boy? What's his name? I'm blanking out on his name. The one that had beef with Jaden. No. I'm gonna go.
Decker? You mean Decker?
Not Decker. Decker's joint was trash. I'm gonna go Zen. Do I go Zen?
Zenaku?
Do I go Zenaku? I like Zenaku's. I'm gonna go Zenaku.
Zenaku?
Yeah, the wolf.
From Wild Force.
From Wild Force.
Okay.
The one who turned into Maverick.
You know, never mind. Look, I was thinking about Wild Force,
Merrick,
but I wasn't thinking about Zanaku. I was thinking about the main guy. So never mind. Keep going.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Zanaku.
Okay.
Who you got, Benjamin?
Y'all are tripping. I can't believe y'all didn't think about this, bro. Daishi. Y'all are tripping. Daishi?
I mean, yeah,
He's not a ranger.
Yeah.
He's not the black and the gold, and he became a Phantom Beast Knight with the black, gold, white mink on the back. Dicey. And Jerry was clean with the mink walking around with the fur. Come on.
Damn, bro. They said that in TikTok. I was trying to figure out who they was saying. I was trying to remember because I was like, ooh, that's a good answer. That's who they were saying, though. I'm not gonna lie. They was saying Daishi.
Yeah,
I like Madam Odious too. I think Madam Odious looks cool, pretty cool too. I like Madam Odious.
All right, so let us know in the chat, who do y'all got? Who do you think had the best drip in Power Rangers? Shinosuke, what's next on the list? What we talking about?
Oh, okay, I get it. I'm gonna tell you this. So I was wondering if you had like a list of your favorite like foot soldiers. Like, who's your favorite like foot soldier?
Oh,
Or
so
like
the
if
minions.
you had a top 5 or something like that.
So we talking
Just
about like
favorite foot
putties and
soldier.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right,
Who you like?
I'm gonna do top 3, right? Because top
Okay.
5, I'm gonna do at number 3. I'm gonna go with I forgot their names, bro. They're the Mystic.
series?
They're the
series?
Mystic Force villains. The minions. I think they was pretty dope. I think they looked cool, right? And they was
Mystic
always a
Force.
hassle to deal with, right? And if you could give one of the most powerful teams in Power Rangers a run for their money, I think that they should be on the list, right? And then in second, I'm gonna go. I think they got the coolest drip in the entire, as far as minions go, right? And that's the ones from In Space. I think they look so cool. Their armors, I think they're like so fire, bro. I think they're the Quantrons or Quantumtrons or something
Yeah,
like
in space,
that.
yeah, Thorntrons.
Yeah.
The silver and black.
Yeah, those joints. No, yeah, those joints. The silver and black ones especially. The all silver ones is cool, but the silver and black ones was probably the dopest, right? And I think for number 1 for me has to go to oh my god, what are their names, bro? The Stingwingers. And the reason why
from Dino Thunder.
Yeah.
no, from Lost Galaxy, I think. Are they from
Oh, the
Dino
Lost
Thunder?
Galaxy? Is that Lost Galaxy Stingwingers? I think that is Lost Galaxy. Yeah, you're right.
They're from Lost.
You're right.
They're the ones that blew up the Megazords, right?
Oh, the little let me see.
Yeah, that's from Lost Galaxy.
And the
Yeah.
reason why I say I put them number 1, because what other minions you think accomplished blowing up Megazords? Like they jumped on that Megazord.
Oh, the kamikaze, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I think number 1 would have to go to them, because I can't think of no other minions that completed such a feat or that has such a feat as them. But what do you think, Ben?
So number 3 for me, I'm gonna go with the Cogs from Power Rangers Zeo. Because Zordon told them that they have to be completely dismantled to be destroyed. The Cogs. Yeah, you have to break them apart. You literally have to take their heads off, arms off. Like you have to like literally break them to defeat them. Number 2, I was gonna say the Quantrons, but I'm gonna go with the Piranatrons from Turbo. I kind of like their aesthetic, their look. The armor, the brown, the kind of like fish fin head, kind of like fit the little, Divatox aesthetic. And for number 1, I'm gonna go with the Renshin Warriors from Jungle Fury.
Nice.
Bro, those minions right there, if like any one of them can get an animal spirit and just go off. Like you can put an animal spirit on any of them. It doesn't matter if it's a minion, a goon, a lackey. Anyone can get an animal spirit. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hey,
And
I
look,
like
they
that
look like
list.
if you play Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, whatever else, you can get that like fit to get into the hideout.
Yeah,
And they look like that.
They do.
All right, so what about you, Shinosuke? What's your 3? You can
Look,
pick.
he already said like 2 of them already. Honestly, I actually picked 5, but let me see. So I didn't pick them necessarily off of aesthetics. I picked them off of kind of like, like I said, some of the other like aspects of them. Like so, I like the Tangas. Again, silly, goofy, but I like them, from the movie. Like big old
Hated that
birds
song.
that
Hated
fly.
that song though. Hated that song though.
The Tango, yeah. Yeah, that they did play that a lot. Yeah, I got the Tango Warriors. 'Cause, look, even the Lightning Collection thing is like this is a hefty figure right here. Like
That's
these
pretty
are
dope.
nice.
That's pretty dope. That's pretty
Yeah.
dope.
I honestly I said the Cogs, and I actually have the Kelzacs. The other one, I guess if I had to put another one, I wasn't really ranking mine. But I will tell you this: ever since I remember when I was a teenager, when Time Force was on. And the Cyclobox is not that there's anything special about them, but I just like the whole like dude.
Yeah.
I used to like exercise to that. I literally would. Sometimes in my room, I just sit there and go, So for some reason I've always loved them, and they got these like little blaster things too. So I kind of like that. They're a little versatile. They're really like knock off like futuristic cogs, but. I would put the cogs above the Cyclobots, but I like the Cyclobots just because they come in like this like uniform like thing, and I like the episode where the gym where they had to infiltrate and they were like turning people into them, and then after a while they started doing the little So yeah.
All right, now
So
I got a
let's
question for y'all, right?
Okay.
What villain throughout the franchise do you think made the biggest impact as a villain?
Mine is not one villain, it's villains. Mine is the Psycho Rangers. Hands down, it's the Psycho Rangers. We have never seen, like, we've seen, villains. We've seen Zedd, Rita all try to make evil Power Rangers. Rita even made her own evil Green Ranger. But we've never seen nobody have all 5 colors and them to just completely dismantle the Rangers in every aspect. We've never seen that ever. And for them to come back in the next season in a team up episode and for one of the Rangers to kill a Ranger, like, that has never happened ever in Power Rangers. So like, for me, and as a kid growing up, like, the Psycho Rangers was probably the coolest thing. People probably don't even like. They were like the Space Rangers, Psychos. Like, for the people was putting Psycho Rangers in anime. They were like, oh, I bet he could be Goku. I bet he can, like. It was just phenomenal. So I go Psychos.
They were a menace to society. For the
This was a
Rangers.
tough question for me, right? Because as I was thinking about it, I was thinking I wanted to show 2 villains love, right? One, Emperor Grum, right? Because he not only destroyed planets, but he was on the verge of conquest. He was conquering, like, at the time, he was conquering planets and destroying them. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a huge impact on that franchise. 2, I feel like is it Vengex
from RPM?
Vengex?
Yeah.
I say that because he did what the others couldn't do. He took over the world. He destroyed it to a point where you know what I'm saying? So I think those 2 are really, I will go Emperor Grimm more than the other one because he just took over Earth. This man was taking over the galaxy and destroying planets. He was taking over people's worlds. Emperor Grimm was doing some stuff. So I think Vengex does deserve the nod, but I'm gonna go with Emperor Grimm. What do you think, Shinosuke? Who do you think had the biggest impact in their franchise?
You know what? I'm gonna do something a little different then, because Vengex would be on my list of people who were definitely impactful. But when I think about somebody that's like really, they kind of created a legacy throughout like just the reign of itself, I would say Astronema actually, just because first off, she made the Psycho Rangers, who were the menace that actually did it. I mean, I know she didn't like conquer Earth or whatever else, but she also had that really amazing arc that ended in the Z Wave. So it's like, not saying that she necessarily caused it, but she was the villain in that season that was like one of the most impactful moments in Power Ranger history. up to that point. And again, it gave us elements like she became a ranger herself. Obviously, you know, she again orchestrated the menaces of society known as the Psycho Rangers. And I really liked the story arc. Like I just thought that she had a really compelling character. I like the connection to her and, you know, of course, her brother and just the drama behind it or whatever else. But I would just say Astronema. Yeah.
Nah, that's an actually solid pick. Also, if you're in the chat, please hit that like button and leave a comment. Who do you feel like left the biggest impact as a villain in their respected show? All right, now the next question we're going to talk about the reboot that we all know is going to start filming in a couple of months in London. And the biggest question is not only who are the Power Rangers going to be, but who will be their villain? Now, this is something I've been pondering and I've been thinking about, and I honestly don't know if I want a new villain, someone we never seen before, or if I want something old school like Rita Repulsa or Lord Zedd or something like that. If they're going to reboot the franchise, why not start off with the villain that started everything? But to each his own. I want to hear your thoughts from you. My opinion doesn't matter. So, Benjamin, go ahead. Let us know. The reboot is on the way. Who do you feel like should be the main antagonist in this show, or who would you like to see?
Well, since it's going to be a reboot, of course it just has to be Rita, right? You're like, it's a reboot. You're rebranding. It has to be Rita. But for a villain that I would like to see, this would probably shock you guys, man. Since it's a reboot, I would like to have a little seriousness, but also a little charm, a little goofiness as well too. And one villain that I personally think that fits that and can actually go hand to hand combat with the Rangers, and it'll be nice. I like martial arts. Lothar.
Ooh.
Lothar. I would love to see Lothar. I think that'd be pretty cool, man. To see him have his goofy charm and be bumbly and be bumbleheaded and stuff, but can actually fight and throw hands with the Rangers. We seen him box Rangers. We seen him box Mesogog. So he can fight. So I think that'd be pretty cool.
Nice.
I like that. What about you, Shinosuke? Do you think they should, would you like to see a new villain, or are there certain villains you would like to see within the franchise?
Okay, I'm gonna say it like this. So if they're gonna reboot and it's gonna be Mighty Morphin, I definitely want a Mighty Morphin like lead. So honestly, kind of going as to what you said, Ben, if you want somebody who's gonna throw hands and has proven to do so more recently, that actually would be Lord Zedd. I think that Lord Zedd, modified would make he's really strong. He was taking people out in Cosmic Fury, and so I think that it would be interesting to have. I actually would like Rita and Zedd together. I think that if this is, I'm kind of thinking about where they're gonna go with the franchise being a little bit more mature, more grounded. I think that both of them could be compelling villains, especially with Rita. In the comics, obviously Rita is like throwing hands, she's weaving magic, doing all the things too. It'd be nice to kind of get a little bit of that 17 movie Rita, incorporated into the show. That way she actually kind of does have the ability to not only just make my monster grow, let's do this, but she's going to be a menace to the Rangers as well. And I like the idea of eventually bringing in Lord Zedd to also maybe even be that one up for her, or that, have the comparison. I should say not comparison, but I like it when there's not harmony between the villain faction in itself. So I would love some drama in with that story, for a kid's show from the 90s, of course, they kind of had to do what they needed to do to tone things down. They had to tone Lord Zedd down because he was too scary. So they, put the lowest potion on him. I want, full-fledged, all-out, evil Lord Zedd versus Rita. And then maybe they kind of find a way to fall in love and actually naturally, go to join together in matrimony to be a menace to the Rangers. So yeah, I'm going with Rita and Zedd.
Hey, I'm not mad at either one of those answers, because we get the old school feel with Rita and Zedd, and that could lead up to new monsters like Lothar. So I love both answers, to be honest. I just whoever the villain is, which comes to our next question, right, Shinosuke? Go on to the next question. I'll let you do it.
Okay. Well, I would say this. I was thinking about like as it relates to the reboot, what do you think makes a good villain? Like what makes a compelling villain? Like what are the elements that they need to have to be a good villain?
And I think that is a damn good question. And that's why I wanted you to lead off with that so I could say, man, motivation. Their motivation. What's motivating them? Their story behind it. That's what made Thanos such a good villain. Or chaos, straight chaos. It's about time we got a Joker, a type villain. Like, you know, you always don't need. That's why I'm on the fence with this one, right? Because on one side, I do want that backstory. I do want that, you know, that arc, that villainous arc on why he's doing what he's doing. But then on the other side, it's been a long time that we just got a mean, nasty, evil villain that doesn't have, like, he just want to see shit blow up. He does not care. Is no motive. He just wants everything destroyed. You know what I'm saying? It's just pure chaos. Now, I wouldn't mind something like that, but for the sake of the story, because you got to understand, there's going to be a lot of fans our age tuning into this. And, you know, we need that story to keep us actually interested and, you know, keep us coming back and doing podcasts and doing discussions and talks and trying to figure out what's going on. And, you know, and I think that's why some of the most popular Power Ranger franchises, most of their villains have that. Ramsick, he had that. You know what I'm saying? There's certain astronomer you brought up. She had that. There's some villains out there. When you think about the most popular Power Ranger franchises and critically acclaimed ones, you think about their villains and they all have great stories. You know what I'm saying? And if they don't, it's usually the Rangers that carry them or the generals that got the backstory. Because sometimes it's not always the big bad. It's the general story that you really compelled to. So you got like the one with, let's just say Decker or
Honda
Dashi.
from Villamax.
So you got stuff like that. So I think it's all about motive and backstory.
Yes.
But what do you think, Benjamin?
So, man, I agree with pretty much all of what you said. I think the villain should have, like you said, a motive and a clear goal in mind, and that it be consistent throughout the series. Like for example, Mesogog from Dino Theory. He was a very menacing, dark, creepy, you know, very dinosaur-like villain, but he also had a goal in mind, and he wanted everybody to go back to the prehistoric times to be dinosaurs. So throughout the entire series, he's getting all the things that he needs so that can happen. Somebody like Vengeance, you know, Vengeance has a clear goal in mind. He wants to complete his dominance over the earth. So I think that a villain should also have charm as well too. You know, like an Astronomer, like a Trakina.
Yeah.
Like even like generals, like you said, like Snickle and Hyde. Somebody like that, somebody that was dynamic. Because like you said, it's going to be most people our age watching it, but you don't want to lose the younger audience as well. That's where their charm comes in. That's where those goofy jokes, will come in, those quip, little small little things. So I think that if they incorporate all of those things, then it will go well.
Totally agree.
Shinosuke, what's on your mind when it comes to this topic?
I mean, basically, you kind of said like the motivation definitely is really good. I like you said, you want to have that balance of like a little quirkiness, but then also still, have some type of like complex relationships. I like the idea. Again, honestly, this was one of my favorite dynamics right here. Like Ecliptor and Astronomer, like the whole, like the fact that he kind of was like a surrogate father to her, and that he had all this like, just. He even though he was evil, he still had the ability. And I guess that's kind of a theme throughout a lot of villains too. You got like the Lothors or people who have that kind of paternal instinct that still cares about their own, but they still want to go, towards whatever goal they have in mind. I like a compelling backstory, you know, like Rancic or something like that. Like a person, it could be a normal person or somebody that had unfortunate circumstances that have just found motivations to kind of turn against people. I don't really want it to be something like, oh, they were brainwashed and now they're doing this. Like it's fine, you know, every once in a while, but I do like somebody that has a clear goal, is coming from their own desire, because that way you can see them actually see it through. You don't have to worry about it being a situation where there's going to be broken, like a spell or whatever else. So I really can't add much else to what you say. Like complex ties. It'd be nice to have some type of lore intertwined in with the Rangers themselves or the mentor. You know, again, the comics do an amazing job with things like that. So I think that something that makes it less straightforward would be really good. That way you have something that, you know, the older fans can latch on to. But again, it doesn't have to be so complex that, you know, younger audiences can't get it either. Or it's a situation where, like I said, they have that quirkiness about them. Like they're kind of not a fatal flaw, but like, you know, when you think about what was it? You know, Astronema was always changing her hair or something like that. Drakina was like vain, and you know, she didn't want to give up her beauty or something, like, you know, just like those like little quirky elements that makes the villain compelling, but you know, a little human as well. So yeah, I think that that will be a good perfect mix to actually start a new series with. Yeah.
I love it, man. I'm so excited for this reboot. It's probably my most anticipated thing that's on the way that I know about being created. And it's like, what a time to be alive. We got Ronin Warriors coming back. We got Avengers Doomsday, Secret Wars. We got Doom 3. Bro, what a time to be alive, man. It's just phenomenal. Let us know in the chat, what do you think makes a compelling and, you know, villain, and what do you want to see from this reboot? Now,
I see Psycho Rangers mentioned a lot. Psycho Rangers, Psycho.
Yeah, they love Psycho Rangers.
Yeah, they want the psychos.
You want someone to just, you know, you want a Merc moment. You want them to come in and
you
just
want
like
them just come in. Yeah, you just want somebody to come just beat them up. Just,
they want to crash out, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Was it nothing like a crash? Wasn't no Rangers like the Psycho Rangers when it came to crash outs. They was pure crash out YNs, bro. They was crashing out on every episode, so I don't blame them. Now, speaking of crash outs, we're gonna talk about big bads, right? I'm gonna ask both of you gentlemen, and then I'm gonna give mine. What would be your Mount Rushmore of evil? What would be your 4 villains that you feel are the best of the evil within the Power Rangers franchise? No comics, no movies. So Ooze and my guy right here is off limits. Who do you got?
Then you go.
Okay. Man, I thought about this question, and then when you ask me now, it's just like now I'm just thinking about a whole bunch of other guys now. This is no particular order. I probably have to put Rancic up there as well too, man. I have to put Rancic for sure. I mean, his, like you said, his backstory, what he represented it, you know, is a mutant born evil, or is he groomed to be evil? You know, that type of thing. Man, I probably have to go, I go Astronomer. I go Astronomer as well. She's definitely on there. Let's see. I'll go Vengeance. And then I'll go.
You got one more.
I got one more. Okay, one more. I'll go. You know what? I'll go King Mondo. King Mondo. Because King Mondo had an entire empire. He also had a entire, just like Grum, he had an entire empire. He took over planets as well. And if you destroy him, his fleet would just rebuild him. So he'll never die, really. You have to completely destroy his entire fleet at one time in order to defeat him. So that's my 4.
I like it. Shinosuke, go ahead, give me your 4.
Okay, you kind of stole my thunder on most of them. Astronomer's on there. Honestly, Rancic is on there. Vengeance was on there. You know what? I'll just have to. I gotta pick somebody who you didn't say. I actually I really want to add this person. It's not. It's like I'm picking people who I'm gonna go off of who I really enjoyed the most. And honestly, I'm gonna give that to Drakina. I know that's
Okay.
kind of an odd pick, but
That's-
I like Drakina just because I like the whole arc where she had this vanity about her, and then she didn't want to really be getting her full power because she didn't want to be a full bug, and then she goes to that training arc with Villamax or whatever, and then comes back and starts murking. Then the whole deception, the plot. I just like the fact that like she's like, okay, I'm gonna give it up now. I'm ready. And then her return and Lost Galaxy, whatever. I was like, it's like body horror, and it's like I don't know. It's just something about it. She's like sexy, deadly, all the different things. I just really liked her whole like arc. Yeah.
Hey, I rock with both
pretty
y'all
good
lists,
now.
and I got a couple of the same ones on mine. I'm gonna give an honorable mention to Mizagog. I thought he was menacing, and I like. You know what made him menacing and scary? His voice. He gave that real
His voice,
villainous
yep.
voice.
Yeah.
Like when you
Yep.
heard him speak, you like, ooh, wait, hold on.
Like a what's the guy name? Like Alexander Skarsgård. His monster voice is like he had that going on.
Yeah, like man, it was menacing. And then what really made him scary was his psychic powers. Like he could make you bend the knee with just thinking of it. You know what I'm saying? And I thought that was pretty dope. And I like, the interaction that he had with Trent and his, being Trent's father and all that other stuff. I thought that was great storylines. So he would be my honorable mention.
Hey, Flea, real quick.
Yeah.
Before you go further, my honorable mention would be actually Korag.
Correct.
But that's it. Yeah.
That's a good one. That is a good one.
All
But
right.
that's
So
it. I just wanted to mention that since we did one of those.
I want to do this. All right, if we're going the big joint, right here, like the big statue first, right? I'm gonna have to say, personally, Lord Zedd, because he scared the shit out of me when I was younger. I didn't even know how they let this motherfucker jump on television naked, looking bloody as a motherfucker. You seen the motherfucker's brain. As a 7-8-year-old kid, I was traumatized when I first seen Zedd. And then he came in, his own wife, he put in a can and threw in space. Like off the rip. And he was one of the few that also did destroy the power chamber with, with the help of Rito and Godar and stuff like that. Matter of fact, you're about to hear somebody else say that, but that is an interesting point. So it wasn't like it was brand new and everybody, and it's almost like, okay, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers started with him and finished with him. That's how big of a threat he was.
Yeah. That's true.
Cosmic Fury ended on a Lord Zedd arc. Him being the final, and mind you, I don't know if people know this, but Cosmic Fury is the wrap-up of that whole trilogy. That whole series of shows, it is the final show of that franchise. So being that Zedd is canonly the final boss, speaks volumes.
Yeah.
Technically. You know what I'm saying? It speaks volumes. So it would be Zedd. After that, it would definitely be, for me, Ramzik. I think Ramzik, Tom Force is one of my favorites. So Ramzik is definitely a part of that. Like I said, every Power Rangers that I truly love had a captivating, compelling villain. And like you said, bro, you worded it so grateful. Are mutants born evil, or are they groomed that way? And I felt like it's, it kind of spoke political stuff within it, like political messages within it without speaking it. You know what I'm saying? Like as an adult, those themes touch on you in a different way rewatching it. So I would have to say Ramzik. I said it before, man, but I'm gonna say Emperor Grum. And the reason why, how many big bosses you knew used to always be in the field getting mixy? always. And bro, he had mad aura. The man was on a bike 9 times out of 10 doing wheelies, pop-offs, bro. He was, yo, bro. Grum was that guy, man. I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. He was in the field with it. If his monsters was out there getting busy, he was out there getting busy. And the fact that him and Doggy Kruger had that, like, that art nemesis type vibe, bro, I love that so much. So I'm not even gonna lie, man. Just off of aura alone, I gotta put Grum up there. And then my final one will be the first time I personally seen a Ranger get murked by the Psycho Pink Ranger. Psycho Pink was just a menace. She didn't care if you was gang. She didn't care if you was a Ranger. She was the complete and ultimate crash out. Like, before we was even saying crash out, she was doing crash out shit. Like, with the Yellow Ranger, she did not care. So now, if we're talking big bads and I can't include her, then I think my honorable mention would be take that spot in Mizagog. So I think that would be my Mount Rushmore. But heroes, villains, let us know in the chat.
I also have an honorable mention.
Yeah.
My honorable mention is Master Org. Master Org was working.
Ooh. You know what I didn't like about him though?
Yeah, there's things. Go ahead.
Bro, he was over a shorty. Like,
Yeah, that was
girl,
lame. Yeah, that was.
That's why
that
I
was
thought
lame.
about him, but I was like, bro, he was a simp. Like, he was simped out. I'm not even gonna lie, bro. He crashed out on some simp shit.
He was,
let us know
but when he was on it, he was on it.
Let us know who is your Mount Rushmore. Benjamin, thank you so much for coming to this podcast. Hope to have you back. You're welcome back anytime. Next week, we will be having Spaz on here, my guy Chad, so make sure you tune in for that. Shinosuke, as always, man, thank you for coming through. Y'all know Shinosuke gonna be back next week, and we're gonna be chopping it up about more Power Rangers. So please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. But stay tuned, because our special guest interviews are next, and a word from our sponsor is coming up. But thank y'all, man. I love y'all. Love yourself. Pass that love on and love others. Shinosuke, Trap God. I'll see y'all next time, man. Y'all be easy. Heroes, we're shifting into that new Gear 5 Luffy Mango Passion Fruit from G Fuel. It's easy to make, and the goodie box comes with so many great things. You definitely want to go get this 20% off. Use that promo code FleeboyJetson. Don't forget to use the code FleeboyJetson for 20% off. Heroes, villains, what's good with y'all? It's the one and only one FleeboyJetson from the Voice of the Heroes podcast. And if you're tuning in for the first time, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, click that notification bell so you can be notified for upcoming interviews and discussions with your favorite heroes and villains from around the world. And today we have a very special guest for our Halloween special. Let's welcome Lord Zedd.
It's Zedd! Z-E-D-D!
Hey, Zedd, man, I don't want no smoke with you, my guy. But now that you're on the podcast, I do have a couple of questions for you for our Halloween special. And thank you for being a fan of the podcast. And also, happy Halloween.
Yes. Happy Halloween! You know, what a great time for monsters!
Now, before we get into the questions, I do want to give a shout out to our sponsor, G Fuel, baby. Thank y'all for showing some love, and also use promo code FleeBoy for 20% off.
Ah, yes, G Fuel.
Well, I appreciate you, Zedd, for, not smoking our sponsorship.
I won't say anything bad about that, so you don't lose your funding.
All right, my first question is, what villain you think made the biggest impact throughout Power Rangers?
Biggest impact? Of course it's me.
Not including yourself, though.
Oh, okay. If I'm not allowed to use myself. Well, of course, I had to say my precious wife, Rita. I mean, after all, she's the one that started this whole bull running, right?
Now, I don't know if you heard, but there is a new team of Power Rangers on the way. We are getting a reboot starting 2026 in London. They're going to start shooting the show. What villain do you would like to see?
A reboot? How could they be doing a reboot of the Power Rangers? And if they do, they must include me. Lord Zedd, of course.
All right, for my last and final question, if you had to put together a Mount Rushmore of evil throughout the Power Rangers, who would be on that Mount Rushmore?
Of course, Rancic. Yes, Rancic. Oh, I do love a good time thing. Well, I could say astronomer, since the Red Ranger's coming on here, and I'm sure that would make him cry. Oh, but yes, astronomer, and then maybe Chokina.
What about the Machine Empire? Would you put anybody on there from that?
No, not the Machine Empire. We don't talk about them.
Chat, stick around, man, because up next we got an interview from Christopher Khayman Lee, the actor of the Red in Space Ranger Andros. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, Lord Zedd, man, and I appreciate everything that you do for the program.
I have to say, you have become very interesting to us up here on the moon.
All right, heroes, that's it for the interview. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Stay tuned because Andros, the Red in Space Ranger, is up next. So please lock in and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're new to the channel and hit that notification bell. And if you really want to support and see new Rangers on here or villains, then hit that membership and become a hero today.
Hey guys, this is Jason Douglas.
This is Adam MacArthur, voice of Yuji Itadori.
This is Derek Snow, the voice of Shinra Kusakabe.
This is Phil Parsons, voice of Kenny the Ripper Ackerman.
It's Merc Nguyen. You are watching Voice of the Heroes. Take it away, Fleeboy.
What's good, everybody? You already know who it is and what it is. And if you don't, it's the one and only one, FleeboyJetson. And you're watching Voice of the Heroes. So if you're tuning in for the first time, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, click that notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming interviews or discussions with your favorite heroes and villains from around the world. And today we got a very special guest. But before we get to our guest, I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, G Fuel. Everybody asks me, hey, Flea, I know you from New York, but where do you get the energy from? Hey, man, it be that G Fuel that be having me bounce off the walls. So if you're a creator and, you got those long hours and you're trying to get that energy, hey, best way to do it is G Fuel. Now, let's get into today's episode because we have one of the biggest Rangers of all time joining us today. Not only did he save the universe within the franchise, but his season actually saved the franchise altogether. He's an actor, director, writer, and creator of comics like LA Crazy Town, How I Stole Your Galaxy, Come Hella High Water, one of my favorite titles. Founder and CEO of West Coast Comics, he's co-directed and creative producer of Power Rangers Bloodline of the Grid. He's one of the greatest Rangers of all time. Let's welcome Christopher Lee to the show. How you doing?
Wow, that's a hell of a lot more than I was expecting. Damn.
Hey, man, you've been putting in the work. You deserve it. This podcast is to give you your flowers and let you know how much you mean to the fandom and how much you have done for millions around the world and to catch up with you. So how you doing to start it off?
I'm alive. I'm getting through this holiday season. Everything's good. And I'm a tired old crotchety old man. So just
hey, I feel you. I done hit the big 4-0. So, holidays like this isn't for me anymore. It's more about spending money than gifts. So trust me, I know, man. And then the kids are becoming like little adults. They're asking for things like computers and phones and oh my God. So,
oh man.
Yeah, so
I remember being a kid and it was just, hey, can I get a football? Can I get a basketball? Something like that. Not, can I have something that connects me to every other computer on the world and all that shit? No. It's beyond me.
All right, so we're going to get into a bunch of Power Rangers stuff, man. Big shout out to everybody. And also, we got a giveaway happening, man. In order to get that giveaway, all you got to become it become as a hero. Subscribe today, hit that membership. That's the best way to support us. Get your membership on the channel, and we can get more Rangers on the podcast. We can get some of your favorites, some of your favorite villains. So make sure you become a member today. Now, Chris, if you don't mind me calling you Chris, right?
I prefer it. I prefer it.
Hey, all right, cool. So now, like I stated in the intro, right? Your character not only saved the universe, right, but also saved the franchise altogether. I gotta ask you, right? How did it feel knowing that your season could have been the last Power Rangers season, but it had such an impact critically with the fans and just all around that they say, you know what? Let's keep it going. And we got classics right after, like Lost Galaxy, Time Force, Wild Force, etc.
Well, we actually knew before we even filmed. They told us. They told us before I ever even got onto set. They told us all that this is going to be the last season of Power Rangers. So there you go. And the assumption is that because it was going to be the last season of Power Rangers, they just decided to say, screw it. We're just going to copy everything from Star Wars and Star Trek and Starship, anything with star in it. We're going to copy all of it, steal all their ideas, and just go with that. And if it works, it works. And it definitely worked. I remember, like, it after the, I don't know, maybe like the first 3, 4, hell, maybe even the 5th episode aired, they did tell us that, wow, numbers are coming in. Holy shit, we're going to keep this show going now. So we were expecting it to be the end of Power Rangers in the beginning. That was what we were expecting.
So by the 5th episode, it was already known, like, all right, it done generated so much again and become so popular. We're gonna keep it going, because they did end up bringing your character back for Lost Galaxy, and also the classic, I think one of the best Power Ranger episodes of all time, Forever Red. You was, a part of that massive collab. How was it like working on that collaboration?
I actually knew about it quite a while before anybody else did, because the guy who wrote the episode was one of my very good friends, Amit. He wrote the episode and then reached out to me, and he was like, hey, so I did an episode. We're like trying to finalize it now. It's basically we're going to have pretty much all the red guys there. And I was like, oh, why? And he was like, I don't know. We're just doing a whole red thing. I was like, all right, fuck it. Let's do that then. And I asked him, am I like an important part of this or what? And he said, yeah, I mean, like, you have the spaceship, so if nobody else has a spaceship, so if you weren't there, none of this would happen anyway. So you kind of saved the day because you have the way that everybody gets around. And I was like, all right, so I'm the most important one, right? And he was like, sure, if that's what you want to, if you want to believe that, then believe it. And I was like, you know what, let me have my delusions. So yeah, I was happy with that.
Hey, that was amazing. Now, I do want to go back to In Space, right? Not to bounce all over the place, but being part of, the episode Countdown to Destruction, right? The finale of your own series. And of course, the Zordon era as we know it. Because in the fandom, when we talk about some of the best Power Rangers or the best Power Rangers seasons, we talk in era, right? And your era was the end of the Zordon era. What was it like within that scene? Was it emotional, being that it was the finale, your last time on set, or the impact on Power Rangers? Did you grow up watching Power Rangers and like, wow, I'm the guy who actually off Zordon right about now? How was that?
Well, okay. So if you're talking about the scene where I offed Zordon, that wasn't me. That was Hiroshi, the stuntman. With the helmet on, that's not us. That's the stuntman. For years and hell, decades at this point, I've gotten all the shit about it. Like, you're the guy that killed Zordon. Why'd you kill Zordon? I just tell everybody, I didn't do that shit. That was Hiroshi, okay? You want to blame somebody, you blame the stuntman.
Put it on the stuntman.
He did it. I didn't do that, okay? I didn't even meet Dave. I did not know anything about him, so that's not on me, okay? but like I actually didn't grow up watching Power Rangers. I knew about it, but when Mighty Morphin came out, I was like 15, so I was a few years above like what they were really shooting for, like for an age range. So at that age, I'm watching like I don't know, Friday the 13th. I'm watching Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm watching like horror stuff with blood and guts coming out of it and all that. And you see a show that was predominantly a kid show, and the worst word you hear anybody say is heck and all that. And I was just like, not really my cup of tea. Yeah, I'm gonna let it pass. But the interesting thing about when it came out was that as a kid, I had very long hair, very, very long hair, and it was always back in a ponytail because, back in the 80s and 90s, we were very active. We actually went outside and did shit, didn't just stay inside and, you weren't just on the computer all day or watching YouTube or TikTok. So I would always have my hair in a ponytail. And in 93, when Mighty Morphin came out, they brought out this character that some people heard about. His name was Tommy, and he had a ponytail. And because he had a ponytail and I had a ponytail, every goddamn kid in my neighborhood kept saying to me, "Oh, you look just like Tommy because you got the hair like Tommy. So you must really like Tommy." And I'm like, "Who the hell is Tommy? What are you talking about? I don't know who Tommy is. Who's Tommy?" And the Power Ranger, Tommy, and I heard it so much that I absolutely hated Tommy. I didn't know anything about him, but I hated him. I didn't want to have anything to do with him. And then, fast forward a few years, I get the audition to go out for Power Rangers, and my manager at the time, she says, "Got one for you. Here's the address." And I said, "What is it?" She said, "Power Rangers." And I was like, "No, I'm not doing it." And she said, "Why?" And I said, "Tommy." She was like, "Why?" And I was like, "I don't know. Fuck Tommy. I hate Tommy. So I don't want to do it because whoever Tommy is." But she talked me into doing it because she was like, "Well, okay, look, they're going around the country. They're seeing tons and tons of people in all these major cities. Odds are, you're probably not going to get it because there's like millions of people that are going to see this thing. Maybe hundreds of thousands. I don't know how many people, but it's a good idea for you to go in there and for them to meet you for maybe another project or something, And I was like, okay, cool. I went in there with this biggest attitude of, you guys are wasting my time. I don't want to be here. Screw this shit. Screw Tommy, whoever Tommy is, and all that. And I was doing this for Shuki Levy. He was there. He was Chaim Saban's like the guy right below Chaim Saban. And I just had this attitude like, you guys, this is a waste of my time. I would rather be doing literally anything else. And that's exactly why I got the role. And I really did not want to.
Hey, they probably like, "Hey, we really got a teenager with an attitude."
They told me sometime later, they were like, the reason why you got it was because we were writing the character to be an asshole, and you came in exactly as
fit
an
in
asshole.
the description. You came in fit in the description.
I was dead on, apparently. So that's how it happens.
I love it. Now with that episode, right? Was there any all different type of endings? Did you know about alternative endings?
Oh, for Countdown to Destruction?
Yeah. Or
the
was
only
it
thing
always planned for you to like?
Well, the only thing I had ever heard of was that they were possibly going to make it a 3-part episode, but we didn't really get like too much information about that, and I guess they decided to just squish it down to 2 episodes. But that was pretty much like the way they wrote it, or the way that it ended up on film, the way that everybody sees it, to my knowledge, is basically the way that they had it in mind, like from the beginning of the season. So even though, again, they were planning on ending the entire franchise, and then, shortly after the show airs, they're like, "No, never mind, screw that. We want money, so let's keep it going." But they kind of kept the ending. So I don't know why they didn't change it, but hey, whatever. They decided to do different things. So there you go. And it ended up working because it's still going on.
Yeah, we're getting the reboot soon, which we'll
Yeah.
talk about in a second. Now, what inspired you to revisit Andros decades later, right? Because you are the creator, and
One of them. Yeah.
and stuff like that, bloodline of the grid, right?
Yeah.
You personally told me like, "Hey, Flea, this is my baby. Watch what you say about my baby." So, all right, so I want to talk about how that came about, right? How that first came about. What was the idea you had? And also, I got a fan question for you after this.
Okay. Actually, the whole thing came around because I did a con in Florida. I don't remember which one. It was either Ranger Stop or maybe it was like Miami SuperCon. But I was asked a question on a panel. Somebody said, "Did you ever stop to think that possibly Andros and Corone were Ecliptor's children?" And when they asked me that, I was like, "Oh shit, that makes so much sense. I can't believe that." So that was a very tiny seed that was planted in my brain. And after hearing that, I started thinking like more and more about like, we could do something with that. Like we could write something or do something with that where, yeah, we're absolutely confirming it. I mean, like on the show, it's never said that Ecliptor was Andros or Corone's father, but I mean, when you look at the way that he acted towards the both of them, it really is implied. Like you really, it's easy to believe it. And the original idea was just, okay, well, what is Andros doing right now? What, like this is like 20 something years later. What is he doing now? And I was like, after I started thinking about that, I was like, no, that's not big enough. And I've always kept in touch with Justin Nemo. So I was like, okay, what are Andros and Zane doing right now? And then I was like, nah, it's still not big enough. I want to go bigger than that. So it ended up like just evolving more and more into like, what is everybody doing right now? But we're gonna kind of focus on the space characters, and we're going with the presumption that Andros is Ecliptor's son. Personally, I still think it makes more sense than anything else. So it was just one little question that just snowballed and kept going and going and going. And now we got 2 episodes out there. We're trying to finish up the third. God damn, it takes forever to do it. I mean, man.
Hey, that was actually my fan question, right? Because shout out to everybody that helped us put this together, man. Big shout out to everybody funding this project. Shout out to Nami. Shout out to my guy Benjamin Walker. Shout out to Laxis. And shout out to my guy Xylo. Shout out to everybody, right? So I asked them, right? Hey, do you got a question? One of them gave me a question, and the question was, when is episode 3 coming out? They're
I know.
highly anticipated.
I know. I hear it all the time. It's it's so different working on any kind of show when you are like the primary force behind the camera. If you're just one of the actors, then it's, you're on easy street. It's so easy to do that. But if you actually have to like help produce and, write and get crew together and, get people from one place to another or fly people out, and to film with them and all that, it starts costing a lot of money, and also it just takes a lot of time too, So we're working on it. We're finishing it up though. We got a lot done, and we're actually right now our major focus is that we're remastering, recoloring, and I think redoing some of the sound on Bloodline 1 and 2. And then those are almost done. And then when those are done, we have like 2 or 3 more days of filming for 3. So we're gonna just put together a whole new YouTube page and just run this shit all by ourselves. It's me and DJ, DJ Rivers. He's my little brother, and he plays TK in Bloodline, and he is really the driving force behind Bloodline. He's the director. I'm not a director. I can't direct shit. I'm terrible at it. He is like a genius behind the camera. So, he and I are doing all this stuff together, and it's just it's a hell of a lot of work,
And his name DJ?
DJ Rivers, yeah.
Hey, shout out to DJ Rivers, man. I'm excited to see what you do. Work has been amazing. I love it, to be honest. And now I do want to ask you, right? Because when we was texting each other, I did not know that it wasn't a fan project. So I want to ask you, what makes a fan project and makes something canon or something else? Because right, the reason why I'm asking this, because I have a friend right now, right? His name is Young Sage, and he's pushing something called Power Rangers Mythos Force. He has hundreds of thousands of subscribers and fans that love everything he's doing. He has, people involved like King Vader, who has 3 million subscribers on YouTube, things like that. And they're trying to reach out to Hasbro to get the license to use Power Rangers, but they couldn't. So now they're going with just Mythos Force, so it wouldn't be considered a fan project. So my question is to you: what makes a fan project, and what makes a project like canon or stand out on its own?
Well, as far as like canon goes, Bloodline would not be considered canon, unfortunately, because we are not affiliated through Hasbro or whoever it is that ends up running Power Rangers, from here on out or whatever. So technically, I mean, I guess it would be considered a fan project because, we're doing this ourselves. But the thing is that, like, most of the time with a fan project, you've got a lot of people that, they're fans of whatever the hell the series is. It doesn't matter. Whereas with this, like half the cast is people that were actually on the show, and we're like, hey, I want to do something new with my character. I want to try something different with my character. So it is really a fan project, but it's just a little different because we do actually have like a bunch of Power Ranger actors that want to be a part of it, and they just keep saying, hey, throw me in there, I'm ready to go. Our biggest thing with me and DJ though is that like I could probably get like 30 or 40 different Power Ranger actors to be in it, but if it doesn't make sense for them to be there, then we don't do it. So like we do everything from a writer's perspective first. Is like, okay, this character is all of a sudden in space. Why? How? They have nothing to do with that. That doesn't make any sense. So we try to focus on, would this make sense if it actually was like a legit Power Ranger series done by Hasbro? Would it actually make sense? Or is it just, hey, this is just, us throwing in cameos left and right, which is kind of, it's kind of silly when you do that.
And I love your answer, right? Because I feel like some of these properties, I think that's what the writers do, and that's why it doesn't fall well with the fandom. And that I think that's why Bloodline on the Grid is so praised and so well received with the fandom. Was you surprised by the positive feedback that it got?
I was kind of, I was taken back a little bit because, I mean, I figured that, there are people that liked In Space and Lost Galaxy, Time Force, like all the ones you mentioned and all that stuff. So, more often than not, whenever you hear anything about Power Rangers, it's always about Mighty Morphin. So you don't really hear anything about like any other season. So, when we got like all these views for the first one, we were like, oh shit, that did a lot better than we thought it would. And in fact, the first one wasn't even supposed to be an episode. The first one was it's literally just supposed to be like a little teaser trailer. Our original script for it was like 5 minutes long, maybe it was 5 minutes long. And then all of a sudden one day I just hit up a DJ and I was like, hey, so, I could reach out to Patrick. Patrick David was Psycho Red. And I was like, I could reach out to him if, maybe we want to throw him in there somewhere. And he was like, all right, shit, let's try to work this out. And we, came up with a whole little scene for him to do. I think that he personally has the best morphing sequence of any morphing character ever in any Power Ranger thing in Bloodline 1. Because it just shows him starting to, and then the camera cuts away, and then he comes back, and he's already done. And I was like, I like that so much better. You don't see like the flashing lights and all this dumb shit that takes half an hour. Meanwhile, the bad guys are all aiming and ready to shoot you. Like, come on, man, that was always dumb. And then also with the first one, I did tell DJ, I was like, just as a little addition, if we want, I could try to get somebody to do like an opening narration for it. And he was like, "Who do you have in mind?" And I was like, "Well, I play video games with Dave Fielding, so would Zordon be okay?" And he was like, "Yeah, we'll go with Zordon. That's a pretty good choice." So that's who's our narrator for Bloodline. He was like, "Yeah, I'll do it. Screw it. Let's go."
Hey, man, shout out Dave Fielding, man. Awesome guy. He actually taught me a lot. I did not know that he was only in Power Rangers like for the first season, first few episodes. And they just used his face for, my God, however many seasons after that. That was actually crazy that they even got away with some of that stuff that they was getting away with. But I do want to move on now, right, to what's happening nowadays, right? Right now, we're about to get a reboot of Power Rangers. We don't know who. We don't know if it's going to be the original 5 or it's going to be a new team, but they're going to start filming for the first time in London starting January 2026. We know the showrunners will be Jonathan Steinberg and also Dan Schatz, who is currently working on Disney Plus, Percy Jackson and the Olympians, which is pretty good. I really do like Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Now, my question to you, being a creator, being a writer, and knowing the fandom so well and seeing the success that you had with Bloodline of the Grid, what do you think the key ingredients will be, not for only this show to be successful, but to drag in new audience and still cater to the OG fans?
One thing that I had mentioned some years ago was that I thought that it might be a smart idea for any company that wants to do Power Rangers in the future to just do an animated series. You don't have to worry about actors getting injured with an animated series, and you can literally have them do whatever. If you want them to flip like 95 times in the air, you could do that. All you got to do is draw that shit. So I figured that would be easier, but that's on a production, like on the production side of things. As far as like the fans, like the fan side of it goes, I would say the number one thing that they need to not do is don't talk down to the fans. Don't dumb it down for the fans. You don't need to make this show for 4-year-olds. You could make this show for like, hell, for 25-year-olds or something like that and make it fun and interesting. You would have to, personally, I would say you would need to, ramp up the violence a little bit, maybe the language and all that stuff. I mean, when Power Rangers first came out and they said, 5 teenagers with attitude, I was looking at them and I was like, not one of y'all even has the slightest bit of attitude in this, even in the smallest way possible. These are the kids that, they see the old lady trying to cross the street and they're like, come on, I'll help you across. Don't worry. I'll carry your groceries too, and it's like, yeah, that's nice, but where's the attitude? There's no attitude in that shit. So don't dumb it down. And if you're going to make it kids with attitude, give them some attitude. I liked what they did with the kids in the, what was it, 2016, 2017 movie?
2017 movie.
2017. I actually went and saw that in the theater with Yoshi. And it was, I thought that they did the kids right. I thought that they had the right idea with the kids. But personally, I think the best thing that anybody ever did as far as Power Rangers goes was the R-rated one with James Vanderbeek and Katie Sackhoff. I loved that. I watched that shit like 10 times in a row. I loved it. It was so damn funny to me. And like, the idea of these were people who were children given superpowers. What does that do to you in your head? Well, that screws you up. Like, a kid does not know how to handle superpowers. Or what are they going to do? They're going to blow everything up just because they can, So when you see them grow up and they become like some of them kind of sadistic, power hungry people and all that. And you have Zach doing like mountains of cocaine off the back of strippers. I was like, that's probably what somebody would do if they had superpowers. So
I'm not even gonna lie. When the first time I seen it, right, was about, I think it came out like 2014, 2015, something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But around that time, I seen it for the first time. I was like, and then I was like, oh, that would be pretty dope. And it immediately had me hooked on the YouTube side of things and how creative people was getting. I think they did something with what's that game, man? It doesn't even matter. I don't even want to stay stuck on that, but it really fascinated me with the concepts that they can do with certain franchises like that. And it really made me look at now. I agree with everything you just said because I feel like the franchise, you see what the success of Cobra Kai had, right? Cobra Kai was something like the kids should have been. Teenagers with attitudes that's dealing with dramas, whether with their parents, outside with the bullies, things like that. You could play on all those themes and aspects of the show. And I think like you said, when you was talking about Bloodline, you didn't cater to the cameos. You didn't cater because, oh, I want to put a ranger here. I want to do this. I want to do that. You did what fit the story. And I think a story-driven show will catch anyone's attention. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's story-driven and it's great, it's going to be great regardless. Now, I do want to talk about, it is, I'm assuming it is a official Power Rangers show, also Ninja Kids, right? It's been getting a lot of backlash for the trailer that was leaked or let out. You know, it's still up in the air what happened with that trailer, but they say it was a concept and it was never supposed to be shown. And then, you know, some say that no, it was what they was going for. It was just so much backlash that they pulled back on it. Now, if you're in the director's chair, right? Or you're just a part of this project. What's your next move after this? Getting so much backlash from the AI usage. How do you think they can fix this?
Okay, well, I don't know really anything about Ninja Kids, but and again, I'm not really a director at all. So, but if I was coming at it from a producer point of view, number one is the big problem with a lot of major companies is that they rest on their laurels. They think that, you know, we've made millions, billions of dollars and all that. So what we do is, you know, we know what's right. We know what everybody, you know, what everybody's going to appreciate. And then they keep putting out bullshit, garbage and all this stuff and nobody watches it. So first and foremost, I would say, shut up and listen to the fans. What do the fans want? If you're changing a character and it's so dramatic that it's like not even the same person anymore, the fans are going to hate you for it. They're going to hate you for it, and they're going to hate the character for it because, you know, in their minds they're like, well, you know, why did the actor do this? I mean, it's not up to the actor, it's up to the producers. They're the ones that make the call. So yeah, definitely listen to what your fans are saying. And if your fans, even if it's like a 50-50 split, change it because you don't want a 50-50 split. You want bare minimum like 75% of people loving your show. If you don't have that, then you're doing something wrong. Fix it, or just, you know, gut it and then redo the whole thing. You know, sometimes you got to take an L and you got to, you know, pick yourself up and dust yourself off and try all over again. Unfortunately, I don't think that it's easier to say that to like a small time show or even like what we're doing on YouTube and all that. It's much easier to say that to us than it would be to say like to Disney or Warner Brothers or anybody like that. But, you know, when we do something and, you know, if we put something out and nobody likes it, we're out like, you know, 10 grand. If they put something out and nobody likes it, they're out like $350 million. That's a big difference. So try not to, just listen to the fans. Do what the fans want you to do.
Yeah, I think the fans are really, they're really heated about the use of AI and the morphing scene. I think what the morphing scenes with, Zedd being a human and then him morphing into Lord Zedd and, the Rangers morphing and they're using all AI. Like you can see Lord Zedd's whole morph sequence is 100% AI. Now, it got so much backlash that Hasbro told them to pull it. Playmates, they're saying I don't know all the details, but they're saying Playmates told them to push it out so they could sell the toys. And then,
Of course.
Hasbro, they're having issues because they're using the Mighty Morphin team, which we'll also talk about in a second because you kind of alluded to that. Everything's Mighty Morphin, Mighty Morphin. Fortnite, Mighty Morphin. When anything gets announced, new toys, none of the other franchises gets any type of love. Do you think in the new reboot they'll go, mind you, because this is probably be the biggest budget we've seen for a Power Rangers show. We're talking about $10 to $15 million an episode. Do you think, or because it's 20th Century Fox doing it again, right? But it's going to be under the Disney Plus banner now. Do you think they'll go the safe route and do MMPR, or do you think they'll do a new team of Rangers?
They'll do MMPR. They will 100% do Mighty Morphin. They might change like like now Zach's character is a girl or Jason's character is a girl or something like that. But I would be shocked if they didn't go with just MMPR. Probably keep all the characters and the names as similar to what happened in the 90s as they possibly can. Depending on where everybody's heads at the time whenever this comes out, and it's fully out there and all that, it's going to depend on how much they change things. People when that show The Acolyte came out, people were like starving for it, and when it came out, boy did that get roasted. That was just set on fire. And I was one of the people doing that too. I was like, "Oh hell no, fuck this shit." No, thank you, Disney. You killed Star Wars. Thank you.
That was a tough watch, man.
It's gonna depend on where the country is and the world is as far as like how far they're gonna go with what changes they do. But yeah, the safest bet is that they will definitely do MMPR, and it will be the same colors: red, blue, black, yellow, pink, and possibly green, and probably the same characters, just slightly tweaked.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm stating it now, and I'm gonna say it on the podcast also. I feel sorry for whoever they cast as Tommy, because it's like Jason David Frank's shoes was so huge to fill, and that kid, whoever they cast as him, is gonna get like backlash no matter what. Whether he breathes wrong, sneezes wrong, says the line wrong, he doesn't sound like Tommy. Look like it's gonna be a lot to that. But I do want to move on because we don't have my guy Chris for too long, Rangers. So we're gonna try to speed rush through some of these questions. We got some fun questions for y'all now, right? All right, we're gonna go with favorite season outside of In Space. What's your favorite season of Power Rangers?
Oh man. It would probably be Lost Galaxy, because when they started filming that, I was still hanging around on set. I lived in the area where we were filming it, so I got to know all of them before they were even on air, and I got to know them so well that Danny Slavin and I would go out on like Friday, Saturday nights, and we'd go to Koreatown in downtown LA and just get drunk as shit all night and sing all night. So it would probably be that. Less for the show, more for just hanging out with Slavin, though.
Hey, that's fire, man. That's pretty dope. Now, also, what's your favorite part about attending conventions like Power Morphicon or Rangers Stop and Pop, things like that?
Well, for me, it's going to be a lot different from like a fan, because we're both seeing it from like the exact opposite sides.
Yeah.
But for me, two things. number one, like when we do Ranger Stop, we have an After Dark panel where we're just allowed to say whatever the hell we want to say. You can't. There's nobody allowed to bring in a camera. No phones, no cameras. You can't record anything. So you are going to hear a lot of the funniest, most sexist, racist shit possible that we're all saying just to say it, just because we want to like push everybody's buttons and all that shit. So I absolutely love doing After Dark panels. I think it's funny as hell. And another thing is, I couldn't even count the number of times where I'm at like my booth at whatever con, it doesn't matter, and somebody's looking at whatever pictures or whatever stuff that I have out on the booth, and looking at that, looking at me, and then they just I've had this happen honestly probably hundreds of times now, where they look at the pictures I have, they look at me, and they're just like, so when's this guy going to show up? And it's like, he's right in front of you. That's me. It's not 1998 anymore. We all change. So
hey, I wish I still looked how I look. Even though I think I aged well, but I would die to go back in my 20s, man. Early 2021. Oh man, but
yeah.
Man, I gotta salute you, right? Because the amount of respect your character and the way you portrayed that character has gotten with millions of fans. Usually when we have debates in the fandom, Andros is always brought up as one of the best Red Rangers of all time. And sometimes he's brought up as one of the worst Red Rangers because he was off, doing his own thing and like, all right, y'all got this. I'm gonna go, but it's like here and there when it comes to Andros. But regardless, overall, as a great character, he's always on the top of the mountain, right? So I gotta ask you, if you could put together a Mount Rushmore of Red Rangers, which we call on the show, for Forever Red Mount Rushmore, who would your 4 Rangers be? Who would your 4 Red Rangers be?
So only red though? We can only do red?
Only red. Only
reds.
Red Rangers on this.
Only reds. Okay. And we're going by the character, not by the actor.
Yeah, just the character. So the impact. Or you know what? Let's do this. Because I kind of said it to Jason Font too when he came on the show. I'd rather this list be more personal to the person. So that way it's not always the same answer. It's who you feel like deemed worthy on this Mount Rushmore, whether through relationship, character, a person, the impact they had on the community, or your life as a mentor, as a friend. So, we'll go with your own personal list because at the end of the day, this is your list and your opinion only matters.
Okay. Right off the bat, I'm going to put Slavin up there. Danny Slavin is definitely going to be up there. Selwyn's going to be there. I would say Sean Johnson. He was Carter. I would pick him. And if I'm going to pick a 4th, oh, hell. It's like there's like 19 of them that I pick. Shit. Oh, God. I don't know. I guess. I don't know. And see, it's always going to come down to either like Austin or Jason. You know what? Fuck it. We'll go with Font.
Hey, all right. So, for those who don't know, say the Rangers by Ranger names.
Oh, okay. So Font was Wes.
Yeah, Wes, Tom Force.
Wes. Sean played Carter.
Yeah, that's Lightspeed Rescue.
Right. Cell was obviously TJ. He was Turbo.
Turbo and
Blue Space. And then Slavin was Leo from Leo from
Lost Galaxy.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you got me.
All right, so that's a great list. I love it, man. Now, we're going to go outside of the Power Rangers fandom, right? I want to get your take before we get into, because before you go, I want to talk about West Coast comics. I want to talk about some stuff like behind the story behind LA Crazy Town and things like that, right? Just to, before we get you up out of here, But I do want to ask you, outside of the fandom, what are your top 5 fictional characters of all time? Like you can go
N-
books, movies, TV shows. Who are your top fictional characters?
Number one will always be Darth Vader.
Ooh,
Vader is a number one.
great
Um,
choice.
Two would probably be Hank McCoy, the Beast.
Hmm.
He's my favorite comic book
Wow,
character.
that is yo. I ain't gonna lie, I love the list already because that is a unique choice, and I've never.
Yeah,
Beast is getting some love. Shout out to X
yeah.
Men.
Nobody ever likes Beast. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I
saying.
yeah, I looked at him and I was like, he's so fucking great. Come on, he's the best. Jason Voorhees, love Jason Voorhees. Um, and I would say the Predator from the 1987 movie.
Oh, did you watch
From
Badlands already?
No, I haven't watched that one yet. No, I've seen all of the other ones. I haven't seen that one yet. So waiting on it. I will see it soon. I'm sure. I actually, my girlfriend, she hadn't seen any of the Predator movies, so I sat down with her and we watched all of them over like a day and a half, like pretty much back to back, so she could like be up to speed on it. Now we have to do that with the Alien movies too, because she hasn't seen any of those too. I was like, how the fuck are you alive in 2025? You've never
What
seen
were
any of
you
these movies.
doing? Like, what
Yeah,
were you
exactly. What rock
doing?
did you live under? What the hell? And if I had to pick another character, you know who I really love also is David from The Lost Boys. Kiefer Sutherland's character.
Ooh.
I always loved David. He was such a great little smarmy bastard. I loved him.
Hey man, I love this guy, Chris, man. Hey, yo, great top 5. All right. Now, before we get into, the comic book side of things, because I definitely want to pick your brain about that. Because right now, for those who know and don't know, I'm creating my own comic book right now called Ghost Division X, and I'm a new writer. I thought it was going to be easy to get the idea out of my head. It's not as easy as I thought. I've been working on this for like over a year, but we have a segment on the show I call Recommendation, right? And I'm doing a PS5 or a Nintendo Switch 2 giveaway. The way that you enter, whoever's out there watching, Ranger, hero, or villain, the way you enter, you're gonna give us a recommendation. It could be a show, it could be a movie, it could be a song that really means something to you that you would like someone to hear that probably you got the same experience or caught the same emotions from. They check it out. They got to leave a comment in the comment section under this video. And then the more comments they leave at the milestone, every milestone we hit, I'll give one out. I think the next one is 5K. After that is 10K, 20K, 50K, 100K, etc. So it's a recommendation. It could be anything. Heroes, listen to the recommendation. Go check it out. Leave a comment and enter that giveaway. Big shout out to our last giveaway winner, BK Numbers. And also, big shout out to Benjamin Walker for winning the Megazord signed autographed by Steve Condenis.
Nice.
I will be sending that out along with Jason Fonts signed autograph to you soon. So shout out to all the giveaway winners. So give us the recommendation.
So a recommendation for anything?
Anything.
Anything.
This is a good time I tell my guests to promote. Because you could be like, hey, check out my comic book. Go check it out. They'll have to check it out. And they got to leave a comment. They can't be like, oh, LA, behind LA Crazy Town was, a great book. No, you got to leave a comment or something like letting us know that you actually read it.
Okay. How about this then? I live stream Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays on Twitch channel. So I would recommend people checking out my Twitch channel. I play video games. Half the time I get drunk as shit, and then I just talk shit about everything that's going on. So Chris Khayman Lee on Twitch. How's that for recommendation?
That's actually beautiful. And I'm going to leave the description below, and I'm actually going to follow you myself because if you're ever streaming on Fridays and Saturdays, I usually, I do a lot of raids. Everybody knows, like, I raid everybody to, like, and we get a lot of people up to, like, almost, like, 200 sometimes because I host tournaments for Bandai Namco. Big shout out to y'all for sponsoring the Naruto, the Boruto, Shinobi Striker tournaments that I host. So if I ever catch you streaming, I got you, Chris. I'm
Wow.
gonna send you a raid, and I'm gonna send all my shinobis out there to your stream. So make sure y'all go right now, click that link in the Twitch, and lock in, because that's where I come from. I'm trying to like pivot toward podcasting because man, they be getting me with the rage baiting, Chris. I be crashing out, and I don't be wanting to crash out no more. So I'm trying to like humble myself a little more and talk about some of the things that I love talking about. So, check out our other playlists too. We got a bunch of voice actors on here, comic book writers. We got the writer from that did Gargoyles Dark Age, and the writer who's currently working on the new Storm series for Marvel. But now let's get into the comic book side of things.
Okay.
One, what's the story behind LA Crazy Town? Because when I was, checking your stuff out, I did not know you was a comic book writer. And it caught my interest off rip. How did you get into creating comic books, and what's the story behind this one?
Good God, that was so long ago too. But I was actually going to a school. I was going to a school where I was going to try to be learning to do writing for video games. And while I was there, I met this guy who's a few years younger than me, and we hit it off. His name was Danny, and we realized that we lived like 15 minutes away from each other, which in LA was like, that's no time at all. Oh my God, you're practically neighbors at that. So we started hanging out, and at some point he told me, like, I know that the classes that we're doing and all that is for writing and video games, but me, I kind of want to do writing for comic book. So, I've been a writer since I was like 12 years old. I've been doing it forever. And we were like, I told him, I was like, well, that sounds really interesting. Let's try something out. So we came up with 6 characters, 3 for him, 3 for me. And, both of us, at least at the time, totally loved LA. LA's a little bit of a shithole now, I'll be honest. But once upon a time, it was glorious. But we were like, yeah, we're going to base it in LA, because how often do you see a comic book that's set in LA? They're always set in New York. It's like almost always set in New York. Like 90% of Marvel is in New York.
That's a fact. Every superhero is in Manhattan.
Yeah. For some reason, they're just all in one spot. It's like, if something bad happens in Portland, Oregon, they're fucked because everybody's in New York. So that's the way it is. But we were like, we decided we were going to take different aspects of ourselves to make the characters that we were going to write. So I wrote down 3 characters: the Wendigo, Mishibiju, and Case. And every one of them is like a little aspect of me. Like one of them likes to do this, or one of them likes that, or one of them hates this, or whatever. And then he created 3 characters: Gato, Calavera, and Sunriser, and all 3 of those were like parts of him. And the number one thing, and this is the reason why it worked too, what we were doing, was that the number one rule for writing anything, it doesn't matter what it is, comic book, movie, an editorial in a newspaper, if those still exist, I don't know. Write what you know. Only write what you know. If you have to write about something and you don't know about it, learn about it before you write about it. Because if you write anything, if you're writing about something and it's even slightly wrong, the entire internet will shit all over you like nobody's business. They'll do everything that they can to make you look like a fool, tell you how wrong you are, you're the worst person ever, and you can't do anything right, yada yada. So write what you know. Learn about it first and then write about it. And nobody knows me better than me, so I was able to come up with these characters, and give them little quirks and all this stuff. And then after that, it was like all of these characters, they have extremely different backgrounds, extremely different reasons why they have superpowers or abilities or whatever. as opposed to something like the X-Men. Well, everybody's a mutant. That's why Colossus can turn to steel because he's a mutant. Shut up. Professor X can microwave everybody's brain across the planet. Why? Because he's a mutant. Shut up. So we decided, well, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to go more Avengers, where like it's just all kinds of random weird shit that like, this guy's a thunder god. He's a giant green rage monster, and it's like nobody has any cohesion. So we wanted to do it like, they all come from very different backgrounds. But the main focus was that we wanted to make good guys that were absolutely scarier than bad guys. So yeah, both he and I, we both loved the Punisher, and I always felt that like the Punisher was like the big boy version of Batman, because Batman just grabs everybody, throws them in jail, and then they're out in a week. With the Punisher, you don't get that week. You are dead. You're just dead. So I like the idea of having good guys that, like, if any bad guy realizes that, oh, these guys are on the case, well, we're dead. We got to go. Let's leave the country. We're going to go. We're all going to like Chile. Fuck that shit, because we're not staying here. We're going to die. So I thought that was funny to me. He thought it was funny too. So that's kind of where that all came from. Just a love of violence and good guys doing really bad, horrible, but still slightly good things.
Hey, so definitely a whole comic book of anti-heroes, man. I love it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
That's kind of fire. Now, your love of comic books got you to become not only the CEO, but founder of West Coast Comics. Now, I'm a huge comic collector at this point. At first it was Funkos, right? And I had a huge Funko addiction. Right now, it's comic books. Every time I get a little bit of money, I go pre-order a whole bunch of comic books. I probably won't even get to December. My wife's like, what's up with you, man? So I got to ask you, right? Is there a website for anybody that's watching that collects comic books that you have where they can go pre-order? And do you have any like exclusives or foils that you can pre-order?
No, we're not doing any of that right now. Everything that I'm doing right now is entirely focused on Bloodline, because Bloodline just takes up, like so much of my brain. There's so much stuff that we got to do. The comic, like West Coast Comics, that was the thing that Danny and I came up with, where we had kind of an umbrella to create new ideas later on. So, and we did that. We had we started with LA Crazy Town, then we started writing out and coming up with a lot of concept stuff for How I Stole Your Galaxy. And then the last one, a little bit more of a solo project of mine, which was Come Hell or High Water, which that one I we had just started kind of getting going with it, and then Bloodline happened. So we were like, oh shit, maybe we'll work on it next week, and then you just never get back to it, which that one kind of sucks, because that one was my favorite idea, to be honest. It was basically,
I was gonna ask you which one was your favorite.
That one was, well, it would have been my favorite if we really got far with it. It was essentially Dungeons and Dragons meets Pirates of the Caribbean. Ooh. And then you throw in hardcore porn. There it is.
I gotta see what the hell you cooked up, Chris.
Yeah. It was not for kids. Absolutely not for children. Absolutely not for children. No.
Well, before we let you go, man, without any spoilers, what can fans expect from the next episode of Bloodline in the Grid?
So we are going to bring in some. Like I was saying before, we want to write in characters that it makes sense. And we do have several that are fan favorite Power Ranger actors who played fan favorite characters from different seasons. And we believe that we made it make a hell of a lot of sense. So we've got brand new people that are going to be in it, and more violence, more bloodshed, and a lot of cool, good old 1980s fun, that kind of stuff.
I can't wait for it, man. Bloodline of the Grid, episode 3 on the way. Just hold on to your seats. Please don't harass this man when you see him at cons about Bloodline. Leave him be and go support. When's your next convention?
I'm going to be at Ranger Stop. So
in Orlando.
In Orlando.
In November.
So
go support, man. Go lock in. Go support our Rangers, man, because they gave us memories that we just cherish all these years. Chris, thank you so much for coming on the show. It was an absolute pleasure and a historic moment here on the podcast. And also, thank you so much for everything you've done for every single Ranger out there. I'm telling you, you probably know, because I'm pretty sure you've seen how crazy fans can get over you. But for
a little bit.
Yeah, for so many, man, you mean the world to us, man. All the times you made us mad, laugh, cry. You know, some people are pissed off that you know off Zordon, man. You know what I mean? But
that was not me. That was Hiroshi. Hiroshi.
It was Hiroshi, man. We
take it up with Hiroshi.
But thank you once again, Chris. Heroes, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And go ahead and get that membership for exclusive content. We got membership content. We got a whole bunch of giveaways happening on the channel. Follow us on Instagram. And as always, love yourself. Pass that love on and love others. And if nobody told you so, just know your boy love you. Voice of the Heroes, signing out. Heroes, we're shifting into that new Gear 5 Bluetooth Mango Passion Fruit from G Fuel. It's easy to make, and the goodie box comes with so many great things. You definitely want to go get this. 20% off. Use that promo code FleeBoy. Don't forget to use the code FleeBoy for 20% off.
So, this FleeboyJetson has dared to make a podcast about the Power Rangers. Pathetic, yet intriguing. Go ahead and make your little podcast. Just remember, I'll be watching.